Hello friends, welcome to Del Soccer. My name is Delali Frank and this is News Daily where I serve you with all the major trending news in the last few hours. In today's edition, we're going to talk about the Black Stars head coach Chris Hughton. It's been rumored that he's going to lose his job. The GFA is planning of sacking him. I have all the details here, whether actually he's going to be sacked, what the GFA is actually planning to do, and then later on I'll tell you what I think about this particular news. As usual, if it's your first time, hit on the subscription button and let's build this community together. Without wasting much time, let's get straight into today's news. So there's rumor that the Ghana Football Association today is planning of sacking the head coach of the Black Stars, which is Chris Hughton. Let me tell you the news and perhaps what we've been able to gather. So first of all, the Ghana Football Association Executive Council Committee or the Executive Council will be going for a meeting scheduled today. The report suggests that they've planned or they are contemplating on sacking Chris Hughton as the head coach of the Black Stars. And the decision is based on the fact that the team has not played well ever since he has been put in charge. However, I understand that the Football Association initially did not decide to sack him. They wanted to wait for Ghana to play these two international friendly games before they would make any decision on that. However, the decision was triggered based on the squad or Ghana is set to play two international games. So the squad he produced, there's reports that the squad has as many as more than 10 to 12 players in that team that are different or completely new. So the Football Association and the Executive Council saw that and realized that no, it looks as if this man, you know, if he do the job like that, because when you give him enough time to change things, the squad he has produced basically gives them a conviction that perhaps they need to sack him. But what we also have to understand is that the reason why maybe even if the Football Association would want to sack Chris Hughton, they wouldn't be able to easily go ahead and sack him, is that in as much as Chris Hughton works for the Football Association or is employed by the Football Association, the head coach of the Black Stars and all national teams in Ghana are paid by the Ghana government through the sports ministry. So it means that Chris Hughton is working for the Football Association. However, Chris is being paid by the government of Ghana through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, or paid by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So it means that in as much as the FA would want to sack the head coach or any other head coach, they would need the approval of the government. And this is it. Chris Hughton has a contract that will end after the African Cup of Nations. So obviously, if you sack a coach prior to the end of his contract, there's compensation you're going to pay. So one, Ghana has compensation that you have to pay Siki Akono. Remember, Siki Akono was sacked. We've written Milo. Milo too was sacked. You see what I mean? Milo too was sacked when Ghana failed to perform at the African Cup of Nations. So it is obvious. It's only Otuado in the past three coaches that we've had. It's only Otuado that left or saw his contract finish. So now, even if the FA wants to sack Chris Hughton, there's compensation that we would have to pay because his contract is supposed to end in February and you are sacking him in November. Obviously, there's compensation you have to pay. Now, is the government ready to bear that cost? Looking at the fact that we have two other coaches that we've not even settled yet. That's one factor. One reason why it may be difficult for the FA or the Ghana Football Association to be able to sack Chris Hughton. Another factor is the possible replacement of him. As of now, it will be very difficult, completely impossible to get a proper replacement. What I mean is a proper replacement is a long-term replacement that will replace Chris Hughton for these immediate games. You have to, because you need to bring a coach who can help you qualify for the World Cup, which is by playing these two important games and then prepare for the African Cup of Nations. At least the African Cup is it's not even far. So now you realize that there's conversation or there's rumor that the FA would want to put George Boateng in charge. So you see, so they sack Chris Hughton, bring in George Boateng and put him in charge if only the Ghana if only the Ghana government or the sports ministry agrees to that. The other side of the argument is also that the people in government, which is the government officials, have said that there's no way they are going to sack Chris Hughton because they wouldn't want to sack him and pay that amount of money. And also, it is openly known that Chris Hughton has a lot of backing from the government. So as a result of that, they wouldn't also want to sack him in this manner. Those are the facts. Now, this is my opinion and what I think. First of all, I think Chris Hughton has underperformed based on the expectations and how I was expecting him to perform. And I've said it before in an open letter that I did on this channel. You can check it out. I'll add a link in the description. I've talked about his performance and how I feel he can do better. Obviously, yes. In as much as he has qualified Ghana to the African Cup of Nations, the performance and the games we've played doesn't really show sign of improvement under him. I've said it before. So first of all, I am one of the people that feel that either Chris Hughton has underperformed or he needs to do more because I expect a lot from him. However, I don't support any decision to sack him, and these are my reasons. First of all, we just have less than 3 months to play an African Cup of Nations in January. It's completely impossible to sack Chris Hughton now, get a better replacement, or get a replacement who can change things and play better football for us to go and do something more extraordinary or something more special at the African Cup of Nations than what Chris Hughton is giving us or Chris Hughton will give us at the AFCON. That's the first one. 2, the decision to bring in George Boateng to be in charge of it is completely not possible. You can't take the risk of sacking Chris Hughton, pay compensation, and replace him with George Boateng in the interim. You don't get rid of the bus driver and say the mate should come and drive the car. You are going to Kumasi. You think the bus driver is no good, then you bring the mate to come and drive the car to Kumasi. Then why don't you allow the driver to finish the ride to Kumasi? Then anything, you can make your decision. So that's what I mean. If you look at the cost involved in sacking Chris Hughton, it doesn't worth it bringing in George Boateng because I don't think George Boateng, he's a good coach, a great coach, but I don't think he would give us something more, like he'll give us something exceptional that we should take that risk. 2, the cost involved, the compensation involved, it doesn't worth it. We are not going to win the African Cup of Nations. The World Cup, we just have only 2 games to play now. And I don't think playing against Madagascar at home and winning is so far-fetched that Chris Hughton can't do it. He can, and he will be able to do it. Maybe against Comoros away from home, he may be able to get a draw, which is fair. So you see, so that's what I think. And that's why I don't support the decision. However, I've said it on countless times that I personally feel Chris Hughton needs to change because we're expecting some few things under him, and the Black Stars under Chris Hughton so far hasn't been what we were looking forward to. Personally, that's my opinion. But I don't think we should sack him. It doesn't make economical sense, excuse my language, to sack him. And also, there's no replacement now. So mind you, the Black Stars will be playing international games. The first one will be in Kumasi in November 17th. Hopefully, I think this time around the squad should be coming out. We're going to update you on that as well. But as usual, my name is Delali Frank. Until we meet again. Bye-bye for now.